Welcome to Living in the Shenandoah Valley. We are partners with Dream Real Estate, and I am Jody Elson.
Paige Yulovich.
Mary Castellano.
Israel Brooks.
And we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Winchester in the Shenandoah Valley area and also in real estate. So one of the pros of living in Winchester, there's a sense of community, I feel. I feel like it's even just still a small town because you meet up with people in the grocery store or, at different activities, and that's one good way, I think. You always have a chance to.
Yeah, I always joke with clients that I have to be honest with you because you're going to see me around town and I can't get away since it's such a small city. So it's like,
I know, yeah.
I can't hide.
Yep.
So, well, all of us, I think, Israel, you are from here originally, right?
Yes, born, raised, lived here all my life. So a lot of the people that I went to school with, still friends with, and so there is a sense of community. We stay together. We grow together. We stay together.
Yeah,
So
it's true. Yeah, I raised my kids here. They all went to school here. They graduated from Hanley High School. My daughter still teaches here, or not teaches, so she's vice principal here. It's a tight-knit community. It has changed, but you still have that sense of comfort that you just have a lot of friends here because you've known people for years. And it's nice to be able to just walk downtown and somebody say, "Hey, Mary, I haven't seen you in a couple days."
No. That's right.
There's no secrets here.
Yeah. No, there's not.
what my children said, don't go to the grocery store because when I'm in there, I know everybody. So I'm always talking to somebody. So what takes supposed to be 30 minutes, now it's an hour or 30 minutes
That's
because of knowing anybody.
Yeah.
I've also learned the hard way that if I go to the grocery store and like my grubby clothes and I look awful, I will see half a dozen people
Always.
that day. It
I
just
know.
never fails.
I dodge the ads.
Yeah. That's right. But doesn't it make you want to, since you raised your kids here and you've been here, then it feels like it's a good community to retire in too.
It does.
To me, because now I already know everybody, it's a great community, it's still a good retiring area too. So.
Yeah. And you know your doctors.
Yeah.
You start thinking about
You're already
that
set
when
with
you get
that.
older.
Yeah.
And,
They live here too.
They live here too.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
My ideal retirement would be to get one of the little one-level bungalows that's within walking distance of the walking mall.
Right.
So there's if you haven't been to Winchester, there's a downtown brick paved walking mall that runs for 2 blocks with a lot of little locally owned shops and restaurants and just great places. They do events. I think they do events pretty much every weekend from March to Christmas. To New Year's. Actually, now that I think about it.
There's an excellent, pizza place. I think it's called Ben's.
Benny's.
Benny's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so stop there.
Yeah. big slices of pizza.
I know my food. Stop there.
So what's your favorite place on the walking mall?
What's my favorite place? As a restaurant or as a
Just
shop?
in general.
Well, I love to sit outside. So anybody that has outdoor seating, you'll find me there.
Well, that's a lot of places.
Especially around 5 o'clock.
El Centro does have really good margaritas.
Okay, you took that from me. I was going to say that one, yes.
I have to say,
Because I like El Centro.
my favorite place is Mountain Trails because my husband and I love hiking and kayaking, and so and they have great sales.
Yeah.
So I've always been able to get my favorite stuff at a lower price at Mountain Trails than I have at REI. So
Yeah. Handworks Gallery is really nice too.
That's true.
Because that has a lot of local vendors that come in.
I get a lot of stuff from there.
Yeah.
We get a lot of our gifts from there.
Yeah. Which is
Small
nice.
Business Saturday is my favorite day to go down there.
Oh, yeah.
To the walking mall.
Winchester Book Gallery, I love that. Just a small town bookstore. That's always fun.
And like the shoe center, Wilkins
Oh,
Shoe Center.
yeah. That's been there.
That's-
Okay, you probably grew up with it being
definitely.
there because it's been there
And
a
they still
long
measure
time.
Right.
They still measure your feet.
Yeah. They do.
That was the only place growing up. My grandmother, my aunt, go down there and get your shoes. So
That's
that was
right.
the only place in town that, I could walk down to, get it. And,
Yeah.
and still at that time, put it on my aunt's bill or account and
Yeah.
they'll give me the shoe.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't happen now. So, yeah,
Right.
great.
I think
place.
Leggett's was like that too. Put it on my account, wasn't? Yeah, they were like that too.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
bigs, yeah.
There's been a lot of change, and
Yeah.
it's but it still has that hometown feel. Mm-hmm. And that's what's I don't know. That's what's really special about it. It's a special place.
Yeah.
What's one of the changes you've seen more recently?
I think more families have moved here, which I
Yeah,
think
that's
is a
true.
very
That's
positive
true.
change. There's more kids, more families. The housing is turning over.
They've got more housing. They've
Yeah.
we've
Oh,
got
so
more apartments being built,
Yeah.
more townhouses. Which I mean, I know a lot of people don't love that because it's high density, but we really did have a housing shortage here that needed to be addressed.
yeah.
I mean, and I still look at the prices of in Winchester and around Winchester, and we have family in Arlington in Northern Virginia. And when I look at the listings out there, it still just blows my mind. I can't get over how much more expensive. We lived
Oh, it is. Yeah.
we lived in Woodbridge for 10 years before we moved out here. And I'm still stunned when I see how much houses are selling for in Woodbridge
Right. Right.
as opposed to how much you can get here.
And with so many people working from home now,
Yeah.
They don't have
that's
to
the
worry
first
about.
question that people usually ask you. Is,
Yeah.
You know, what's your internet? What's the speed of your?
The internet connection and speed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
no, Winchester has fiber optic now, right? Is it Glow fiber optic?
Glow fiber. I'm not sure if it's. No, I don't know. We don't have FiOS. Certain places doesn't have the FiOS,
Right.
but we do have Glow
FiOS.
fiber. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So it'll gradually get here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate to sound like the foodie, but I like that, that you don't have to drive the hour to Tyson's and places like that.
Yeah.
So there's more restaurants, there's more, stores that,
Yeah.
Opening up.
it's definitely building up. It's
Yeah.
definitely,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And the convenience when you're right here in Winchester.
Right.
I mean, you just walk downtown and have dinner. I mean, it's fantastic. It's a little hard on your pocketbook sometimes, but it's just too convenient.
I know. That's right.
But it's nice. It
Yeah.
really is nice. It's a benefit for sure.
You don't have all the traffic jams of
Yeah.
Yes. That is.
the northern area. You don't have big
And I
traffic
find
jams.
myself, like, on the rare occasion when I do get stuck in traffic.
Oh, you get a little upset and you're
I
thinking,
know. Wait.
not in Northern Virginia, though. No.
And then I remember, yeah.
I don't know.
Commuting.
You're right.
81 is getting bad. I don't know.
I had to wait at a light like 5 minutes. It was awful.
I have to call Jewel because she built her house there. So I'm like, how does 81 look now? Should I go down or not?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Starting to pick up some traffic though. So.
Okay.
But at least now, with more population, we're getting more of those highway dollars.
Yeah.
So they're,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
working on 81 to make sure the traffic is flowing better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which will be it'll be nice.
I would say commuting has changed in the last few years. When I commute from Winchester to Chantilly daily, but now I'm noticing that where I was at an office of one person living out here, now the whole office lives in Winchester, and we're commuting, about an hour daily to the Chantilly area. So it's definitely increased, but it's doable. So you could work here, or live here, work there, and escape and come back here with less noise and less people and less traffic. So
Yeah. But don't they have some, I know some commuters have their commuter spots where they can drop their car off and then they can go
Right.
on and do a van ride. You can do a van carpool.
Yeah, that's what my
and
husband
do it that
does.
way. Okay.
So he goes in 2 or 3 times a week to Springfield, and they have a van pool. And they meet on Route 50 somewhere. I can't
by the
remember
Dunkin'
where.
Donuts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
by the
right-
Dunkin'
Yeah,
Donuts.
there's a little parking lot, a little parking ride, whatever they call
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
it's right there. Uh-huh.
So they meet there, and then they take the van in, and that way they get to do the hot lanes.
Oh, yeah.
In the
the
van.
HOV, yeah, for 66 and for the
Yeah.
other place. Yeah,
Yeah,
which helps
so-
a lot too. Well, and then if you don't have to go every day, which is
Right.
great, so it kind of, if you only have to be there like twice a week or something like that, it's not too bad.
Yeah, a lot of my neighbors that I've talked to do that. A lot of people have done that.
And it's not bad too, because if you take 50 west, or was that 50 east, you pass little towns like what is it?
Middleburg.
Middleburg, which stop Upperville. So right.
It's a pretty
not like
scenic,
it's not like it's traffic heavy. I mean, 66 after Manassas, it gets a little heavy, but still doable. But 50 West, I just take it in and it's great. So,
That's nice.
Yeah. Pretty dry.
it really is.
Yeah.
Well, my impression from my husband is that if you leave early, and by early, I mean like 5 in the morning, which all the guys he rides with are retired military, so
They're used to doing it.
they're up at 4
okay.
o'clock in the morning anyway. So they go in at like 5, and they get to Springfield in 90 minutes, and then they're leaving at I think 2:30, 2:33,
okay.
and so they're heading back before traffic builds up again. So he's home. He's generally home by 4 o'clock,
Oh, that's good.
No, that's good.
4:30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely leave early. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the key.
about 9 o'clock, you would sit a little bit longer, but still, it's not bad. It's
So
still
just
good.
wait, leave early or wait later.
Right.
And go in later.
Right.
Now, do you go across 7 or 50 or 66, or does it just?
The good thing, there's options. So I could,
That's
one
true.
morning I could go 7, I could take 50 the next morning, then I could go all the way to 66. So there's like 3 different main directions that you could get there. So, Waze is my new app of choice. So I get on Waze and see
Tells you
what's
where
the
the
best direction. And, then I was like, all right, that's what we're going to commit to. We're going 50 today. So,
That's a
Yeah.
good
so
idea.
there's definitely some options to get back and forth through Northern Virginia back to Winchester area.
I would say even if 7 and 50 are backed up, because I was commuting into Herndon for a short while when I first moved here. You can get off and go on the back roads like Snickers. I can't say.
Yeah, Snickerville Turnpike.
Pike.
Mhm.
Did I say that right? If you want to see how the top 1% lives, that's a great drive to go through it. I mean, just big, beautiful farms
Definitely.
through there that
Wow.
are mind blowing.
I was gonna say, get in touch with me. I can show you some other, especially off of 7. There's some other, when 7 backs
Little
up.
back ways.
Yeah, there's some little back ways you could take around 7 to come up. I think that's Route 9 to get back on.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
for the last 25 years, I spent a lot of time going to.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I know.
So when we first moved out here in 2017, I remember the one thing that I knew I was going to miss is all the different types of food that we had in Northern Virginia. And so I love Ethiopian food. I love Korean food. My husband loves Indian food. That's his favorite. We loved having all those options in Woodbridge that were within, about a mile of us or so. So moving out here, that was the one thing that I'm like, we got our basics. I will have to say that Taqueria Guadalajara has the best tacos I've ever had anywhere. Those are amazing tacos. And then the other thing that I figured out too, once I moved out here, is that we have a lot more farm-to-table restaurants. So you go out to eat and you're not getting the stuff from Cisco. You're actually getting stuff that they bought from a local farm within, a 90-minute drive. And so it's absolutely fresh. It's not frozen. It's not shipped across the country or anything like that. So, what have you found?
I mean, yeah, the nightlife, we don't, there are a few places downtown that are open at night, and certainly, and that's a small percentage of people that go there. But for the most part, we make up for that in our outdoor activities, our community activities.
All the small towns
festivals.
around that have activities.
All the small towns around, exactly. The river, the hiking. If you're an outdoor nature person, then you absolutely love it. If you're an urban city person and you want, all of that type of lifestyle, you've got to go down to Northern Virginia, which is all good. We all have family
Yeah.
down there, I think, or friends. So
It's not that far.
And we all do it.
It's an easy drive on
Yeah.
weekends to go in. We'll go in a couple times a year.
Well,
for-
you can drive in, hit the metro, and then take the metro down, and you don't have to worry about parking too. So
I have to defend this because I'm born and raised here, but it is getting better. So 25 years ago, everything, that was one of the things is like, I would get off work and at 5 o'clock, everything's closed. So, so they're starting to improve. So it's getting better. I'm not too sure about the nightlife, but I know there's some, activities, that are, there's more restaurants staying open later and there's more places to go. So it's improving. We still have some ways to go, but we're improving.
Yeah.
But we have live theater here. So we have Shenandoah University Conservatory does a summer theater series that will blow your mind. We just went to see The Wizard of Oz, and it's such an incredibly professional production that even my husband, who doesn't even really like theater, left, and he was like, "That was amazing! I can't believe this. We get this out here." And then we have a couple of little theaters that are local here. There's Selah Theater Project that does small kind of avant-garde theater a lot of the times, and then we also have Winchester Little Theater, which is right off of. It's right in Winchester.
Right downtown.
Yeah.
Off of Amherst Street.
They do a lot of productions during the year.
Yeah.
And that's a very intimate setting. I think that's kind of fun to go. It's a good experience.
Yes.
So you could even walk downtown, have dinner, and then walk to the theater.
Yeah.
So it's so nice and close.
Most of those theaters, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we really haven't talked about festivals yet, but we've got so many.
Yes.
It's a way
So many. I mean, I don't know who wants to start listing them, but Apple Blossom Festival
Blossom,
obviously
yeah.
is
That's
the
a big
biggest
one. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Does anybody know what the turnout was last year? I don't know the numbers.
No, I don't. That's thousands and thousands all over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just this
Well, it takes
area.
over- it takes
It's
over Winchester.
all over the United States. Yeah, and we have celebrities. We have the
Yes.
Grand Marshal. I mean, I remember.
How do they get these people?
I don't know, but I remember we've
Every time
had.
I see the Grand Marshal, I'm like, how did they get these?
Well, it started out with Lucille Ball and Bob Hope were like
Yeah.
big celebrities at the time, and I can't remember who we had last year on there, but
And there's
we
always
do.
a sports
Yeah.
Yes, a sport.
figure,
Yes,
too.
yes.
So you've got the Grand Marshal, and then you've got your sports
Marshal, yes.
Grand Marshal or something.
Yes,
and then-
yes, and then we
you
have the Apple
you
Blossom
were
Queen.
in the, yes,
Yeah.
you were an Apple Blossom Princess.
And then
as was
actually,
your daughter.
My daughter was a little maid, and my mother actually rode on a float in Apple Blossom too when she was a little girl. There's a little picture of her waving on the float, and yeah. So that was fun. But yeah, that's a tradition that's been going on. Actually, we'll do the 100th next year, or the following year is the 100th for Apple Blossom. Next year, I think it is for the 100th Apple Blossom. But
And it's
but
a lot of fun.
it's
It's
I'm
about
sorry.
a party.
oh yeah,
The
when does
two-day
this?
parades right there.
Yeah.
It's like two parades: Fire Marshal Parade, then the Grand Feature Parade.
Yeah,
So,
but
And the-
remember
and the wine.
it starts with the wine festival. Remember
Yes.
the week before, and then they have activities that whole week. You have Bloomers Luncheon,
You have a bluegrass festival. You have a
the sports luncheon,
Right.
The business luncheon.
the Valley Business
Is that
Luncheon.
the chamber?
Yeah,
and the
Chamber has
top-
something to do with that, and
The prayer breakfast.
prayer breakfast, and
what's the heels and
the pumps and pearls,
pumps and pearls.
pumps and pearls, and
There's
what
a
else?
men's dinner, isn't there? Like a
Yeah, and then there's also a men's big luncheon they have too for that. So there's always
Don't the kids get out of school for the week?
yeah. No, the kids get out like that Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
And because then they have the Bloomin' Mile at at the Hanley High School. Oh, yeah.
Is that a
they-
marathon?
Where they do
A walk?
it? No, it's a run.
Okay.
And then they do the adult one too. They have an adult. I think it's 5K. Thank you. It's a 5K.
that's
that
all
they do.
great, but I think the children want the carnival. So that's
Yeah,
the
oh,
biggest
that's
thing.
right.
Yeah, that's all. Everything is
Yeah,
great, but I
yep.
think the children, that's all
yeah.
they. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, they
yes.
want the carnival. They want to get the wristband and be there all night and spend a lot of money on food. So I think
yeah.
the carnival is one of
Oh
the
yeah,
biggest.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the parades have bands from
That's
all
true.
over
That's
too.
true.
Remember, and the floats from all the different companies will do floats up. Remember, we talked about doing a float.
Yeah.
Maybe doing a float up for that.
I made my debut on the parade, the Northside Rockers. I did march. in Apple Blossom. So all you that remember the Northside Rockers, yeah, we were a great band then.
There you go.
So I was in the parades.
right.
Just want to say that.
And so that is spring.
It's always the first weekend in May.
Yeah.
Starts out the first week of May, or actually, first weekend, and then goes through the first week of May.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's other festivals during the year. You can speak to
On
the
the-
ones that are at Bell Grove.
Yeah, so Bell Grove, which is a historic home south of Middletown, we have the Beer Fest is always the weekend of Mother's Day, so the day before Mother's Day. and then where we have a bunch of craft beers, and then we have Wine Fest is in August, and late August, the weekend before Labor Day. And then our newest festival is a Kris Kringle Market, which is a Christmas market that we do the weekend before Thanksgiving. And Middletown has, like, they have the big 4th of July parade and the Christmas parade, the car show, there's always stuff in Middletown going on.
Yeah.
You know what we're missing today?
Oh, Route
the yard
11.
sale.
The yard sale. Route 11 yard sale. Yes.
The yard crawl.
Yard
Crawl starts at Newmarket and then goes all the way through to Stephen City.
Yeah, I looked it up. It was
When did
40 something miles.
Route set. Oh,
of
wow.
yard sales all up Route 11.
Right. And that's where you can really find some good deals. I remember I've gotten furniture for the kids for college and for apartments and, all over
My neighbor across the road from me has an animatronic Santa Claus that sings Christmas songs, and it's the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life.
Then last weekend there was on the north side they have Family Day.
Oh, that's
At
right.
the Douglas Park. At the Douglas Park, they've been doing that for years. It's
Yeah.
great. They did backpacks, so it's very nice community
For school.
event for school, and just get the it's been going
the
on for
kids
years.
together.
Get the
Yeah.
kids, the family, just keeping the family together. So that was a excellent event last weekend. So,
That's great then.
yeah, so definitely a lot of community events.
Right.
Strasbourg has that grilled cheese festival
Oh.
that they've been getting thousands of people showing up, and it's like grilled cheese and soup, and then you go around and you taste test everybody's and you vote
okay.
for
Oh,
who
wow.
makes the best grilled cheese and soup,
Oh my goodness.
and they do that I think in the fall.
Oh wow.
That's once the weather cools off.
Now, the downtown, historic downtown, Winchester did at Valentine's. You go around to the different restaurants
Forgot
on
about that.
Valentine's Day, and they
For the
have
chocolate?
for the chocolate. Yes, chocolate
right.
fest, or I think they call it
Something
chocolate
like
fest, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I looked one time, and there's literally a festival. I mean, starting in, I think, April, like with Apple Blossom, there's literally a festival every single weekend within kind of this 4-county area through New Year's.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something going on. And when we lived in Woodbridge and we'd have the nieces and nephews, we'd be keeping them for a weekend. I always struggled with finding something affordable that I could
Right.
do with them. And when you did get there, I mean, it was so crowded
Right.
that it was difficult to have any fun. Out here, it's unbelievable. I can't believe all the stuff that you can do with kids out here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's inexpensive, and they just love it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about retiring. And,
Yeah.
I say that because I want to retire one of these days.
I know. Me too.
Not now, but
Oh, go back. I mean, put that out. I'm not ready to think about you retiring.
Yeah, please,
it
Mary,
is-
don't retire. Stay with us. Stay with us.
But it is a
You're a
great,
realtor.
Right.
We don't retire.
That's right.
it's a good place to retire. That really is.
is.
I mean, the healthcare system we so appreciate. It is, 10 minutes door to door if you live in Winchester. I mean,
Yeah.
if you had to go
To the hospital, to Valley Health. Yeah.
yeah.
Valley Health has been adding urgent care centers, which I really appreciate. They're building
Oh, yeah.
a big one down in Strasbourg now.
Yeah.
So that's going to help a ton, having more of those available, particularly when you get outside of Winchester.
Right. And
Yeah.
people can truly downsize. You're coming from Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
You can come out here. You can,
Yeah.
and many people
Downsize,
are
get-
doing it. I mean, they're paying cash from their homes. Their taxes are lower. There's plenty of volunteer work because there's just a ton of volunteer work to do.
Yeah.
And places to be outside. It's a perfect retirement.
There's still a lot of land in Frederick County, so if you want to move and you want some space, some acreage, Frederick County has some beautiful homes and some land there too.
Oh, yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
Build a
okay.
nice ranch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll help you find a place where you can have your chickens. Funny story about my neighbors when they moved out here and they bought the house up the road from us. I live out in a rural area. The previous owners had a potbelly pig that was like, 90 pounds or so. She was big, and it lived in the basement. So, when my new neighbors bought the house, they get a call because in the contract, it said that the previous owners would take all their animals with them. They were moving out west somewhere, and they get a call, and they're like, "We don't have room for the pig. Can you take the pig?" So my poor neighbors ended up with a pig that lives in the basement when they bought the house. You just
Take the pig.
You take this.
they ended up. They had.
You don't know what you're gonna be
They had
having
to agree
left.
to take the pig.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, and that
When you
was
think
You didn't know what you
You
had
heard it
left
all.
over. Yeah.
I buy a house and I have a pig with it.
Yeah.
too.
I know,
Come on.
right?
Yes.
It's not furniture, but a
The
pig.
pig
Wow.
ended up, yes, the pig ended up getting moved out to the barn, which it was not happy about, but
Yeah. It had a nice, cool place in the basement there. I think we got everything done, right? We covered
covered a lot.
everything,
Yeah, we
wrapped
did.
it all up.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm glad
All
I was
right.
able to wear my shirt.
Yeah, see, I know. No, that was
Yeah.
good. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.